Hi, I'm Dr. David Kimmel with the American Academy of Facial Aesthetics Tip of the Month. Now, one of the questions that comes up from time to time is, how do I inject a low dose of botulism toxin in a broad area? For example, if I wanted to inject in somebody's forehead and I want a total dose of 4 units, but I want to inject it in 7 sites so I get an even distribution of the botulism toxin across the forehead, how do I do that? Or how do I inject around somebody's lips when I want to inject only a total dose of 3.5 units, but I want to inject 7 sites? Now, in the level 1 training, we use a half cc diabetic syringe. And we're diluting our botulism toxin with 2.5 cc's of preserved saline in a 100-unit vial. That means that when we draw up our botulism toxin in a syringe, each numerical value is 2 units of botulism toxin. Now, when I look at the syringe, it gets really hard to inject a really small volume and have control and actually see it. So I'm going to give you a very simple, easy technique in which you can dilute out your botulism toxin further so you can inject a broader area with a low dose, and doing so without using any high math. So what I first do is I take my botulism toxin in my syringe and I, of course, decontaminate it, go into the middle of the stopper here, and in this example I'm going to use 4 units of botulism toxin to inject in somebody's forehead. So I pull it all the way down to the 10, and that gives me a total dose of 4 units of the botulism toxin. Now, at this point, I'm going to shift my thinking. I'm no longer going to think that I have 4 units of botulism toxin in the syringe. I'm going to think of it as I have 4 sites that I can easily inject. Remember, I can easily see halfway in between each of the numerical values. So I can see between the 0 and the 5, and I can see between 5 and 10. So now, when I look at this half cc syringe that has 4 units of the botulism toxin, it's drawn down to the number 10 on the syringe, I can easily see that I have 4 sites that I can inject. Now, in my example, I want to inject in 7 sites, so I'm short a little bit. So without doing any high math, what I do is I take my saline bottle, I've decontaminated it, I go into the middle of the stopper, I turn it upside down so I'm drawing only saline, and again, I look at my syringe. And when I look at my syringe, I'm not thinking Botox units, I'm thinking I see 4 sites that I can easily see. So I draw down the syringe with saline halfway between the 10 and the 5. And when I look at the syringe, I now see that I have 5 sites that I can easily inject. Then what I do is draw down saline to the 15, and now I see that I have 6 sites that I can easily inject. And I want 7 sites, so I'm going to draw the syringe down between the 15 and the 20, and now I have 7 sites that I can easily see and easily control to inject. So I didn't have to do any high math, I didn't have to think about it, and now I have a syringe that has a total dose of 4 units of botulism toxin that I want to put in somebody's forehead, but I have enough that I can easily see and inject 7 sites. If you look really closely at this syringe, you'll find that, again, like I said, you can only see the difference between the 0 and the 5. That's about all you can visually see and easily inject. So what you're going to do is, again, draw up the 4 units of the botulism toxin, which is to the 10. And if you look at that, like I said earlier, you really see that you have 4 sites that now you can easily inject. So now you've put the syringe back into the saline, you've drawn down saline again now to between the 10 and the 15. That'll give you 5 sites that you can easily inject. You'll pull it down to the 15. That gives you 6 sites that you can easily inject. And now you pull it down between the 15 and the 20. That gives you the total of 7 sites that you can easily inject, and with a total units of 4 units of botulism toxin that you're going to be distributing evenly across the site that you've decided to inject, whether the forehead or the lips. And it makes it very easy to control and easy to see. I hope that helped, and we'll see you again for some more tips of the month from the American Academy of Facial Aesthetics.